This is Business Week Armenia, ＳիվiլNeթ's weekly economic news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia this week. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has again suggested that the government may not operate Armenia's national power company in the long term. This marks the latest twist in the ongoing saga over the fate of Electric Networks of Armenia, or ENA. There are two possible scenarios, Pashinyan said this week at a meeting of top officials of his political party. One option, he said, was the complete nationalization of ENA, ensuring long-term state control over Armenia's power grid. The other option, Pashinyan continued, was to sell off a majority stake in the company to an as-yet unnamed private company, with the government staying on as a minority shareholder. But the Prime Minister added that would only take place if his administration determined that keeping total control of ENA would be too costly. The remarks are in line with comments Pashinyan gave earlier this year when he floated the idea of selling off ENA to unspecified leading international companies in friendly countries. Pashinyan's administration moved to seize ENA earlier this year, wresting control from its billionaire owner, Samvel Karapetyan. Karapetyan is now being held on corruption charges, which he denies as politically motivated. In response, Karapetyan's family has launched a $5 million arbitration claim against Armenia, claiming violations of an international investment treaty. That case, which is being heard in Stockholm, remains ongoing. Meanwhile, a number of prominent business leaders and former senior officials continue to warn that taking over ENA could threaten Armenia's attractiveness to foreign investors. For his part, Pashinyan says improving Armenia's business environment is a priority for his administration. Earlier this month, the global rating agency Moody's downgraded ENA's creditworthiness, citing the government's takeover. Armenia's central bank chief, Martin Gostan, was quick to downplay the importance of this, telling reporters he did not think that it would impact Armenia's economy more broadly. In other news, a new agreement this week will enable cross-border trading between the main stock exchanges of Armenia and Poland. The deal to create what is called a central securities depository between the Armenia Stock Exchange and Warsaw Stock Exchange will allow investors to buy, hold, and sell securities listed on either market. This could improve Armenian companies' access to liquidity and boost transparency in Armenia's fledgling financial market. This agreement aligns with a broader strategy aimed at supporting the growth of the capital market in Armenia and strengthening its ties with EU markets, Maciej Trebochowski of the Warsaw Stock Exchange said in a press release. We are creating a bridge that allows European and Polish investors to access Armenia's increasingly attractive bond market, ultimately deepening market liquidity and enhancing transparency, Ani Makaryan of the Armenia Stock Exchange added. The Warsaw Stock Exchange, the largest in Central and Eastern Europe, outside of Russia, is the majority owner of the Armenian Stock Exchange, the country's sole securities market. As of now, about a dozen companies trade on the Armenia Stock Exchange. These include a number of domestic banks, as well as firms in manufacturing and telecommunications. And as always, please follow SivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.